Okay, so like I said, today's the last day that we're going to talk about Pythagorean theorem before we move on. Today is called the distance, and what I want y'all to write is length right under that. The STAR test likes to use these two words, distance or length, between 2 points. So basically, on a graph, on a coordinate plane, if they give you 2 points and ask for the distance between this point and this point, I want y'all to look at this and tell me, would you be able to count how long that is? Yes or no? No. Because it's a diagonal, you can't count the squares. Does that make sense? But what you can do is you can draw a right triangle out of these 2 points. So today, if you can draw a triangle and if you can count, then today will be very, very, very easy. So everybody look. Between this point and this point, I want you to drop a line perfectly straight down until you reach this spot. Kind of like rise over run. Don't go past that dot. Straight down. Make sure it is not diagonal. I want it to be straight down, and then I want you to connect it, and I want you to make a right triangle. Do not go past that dot. What we just did is we created a right triangle where we're trying to solve for side C. Why are we solving for C? Because it's a diagonal. And right here, doesn't this make a right angle? Yes or no? Can I count this side length? Yes, because it's perfectly on those squares. So I'm going to zoom in, and it's just like counting rise over run. You count the squares. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units long. What else do I need to count? The bottom one. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 units long. Can I now do Pythagorean theorem to solve for the distance between point P1 and P2? Yes. So I'm going to write the formula over here. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I'm going to plug in my numbers. 4 squared plus 7 squared equals C squared. Am I going to add or am I going to subtract? I'm going to add. So I'm going to go to my calculator and do 4 squared plus 7 squared, which is 65. And what do I do to my answer? Square root it. The square root of 65 is 8.06, and we'll just we'll round. Yeah, I don't remember what the assignment is. Let me look real quick what it. So looking on the assignment, it looks like a lot of them do round to the hundredths place, so you could be in mode float too, but if it rounds to the tenths, that's fine. Just pick the closest answer. So it's about 8.06. Do y'all see why there's no way you could have counted that? Yes or no? All right, try to draw the next one on your own. Make sure you are making a right triangle. I always start at the top dot and drop a line down even with the lower dot. Don't go past it. If you go past it, it won't be a right triangle. Then go over, just like rise over run. You're trying to find the distance between P1 and P2. That's what I'm trying to find, but I can't count it. Okay, I want y'all to set this one up on your own and solve it. I'm going to walk around and make sure that you drew your triangle correctly and that you counted correctly. correctly, the biggest mistake I see is people draw their triangle and they don't even make a right triangle. Like, they totally mess it up. It has to be a perfect right triangle. This side was 4, yes? And this side was 6. So in your formula, a squared plus b squared equals, c squared. I have 4 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. What was 4 squared plus 6 squared? 52. And what do you do to your answer? Square root it. And the square root of 52 is 7.21. And again, just pick the closest answer. If their answer is 7.2, then that's what you would pick. Let's see if y'all can figure out how to draw the next one. I always start at the dot that's highest and drop a line down. How far did you have to drop it down? Only 1. If you go further, it is not a right triangle. Only 1 spot down. See that little spot right there? And then over. So I'm trying to find the distance between point 1 and point 2. You're always going to solve for C when you're doing the distance between 2 points. All right, so what is this side length? 1. And what is this side length? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Yes or no? So I have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. 1 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. So 65 equals c squared. And what do you do to your answer? Square root it. .06. Is C bigger than these two legs? It is just barely bigger than the 8, but it is bigger, so it does fit. All right, try this last one on your own. Don't drop your line down too far. What were the side lengths? 1 and 3. What is that, 10? And the square root of 10 is 3.16. Okay, any questions on those? Flip to the back. This is how it was asked 1 year on the STAR test. They gave you a blank graph, and they said point X is located at -2, 1. So what do you think I could go do? Go graph that point. So everybody find on the x-axis -2 and hold your pencil. And would I go up 1 or down 1? Up 1. Put a dot right there. That's point X. It says point X is translated. Translated is a fancy word for moved. It's moved 5 units to the right and 4 units down to make point X/1. So what would I do? Count 5 to the right and then count 4 down. So everybody look, I'm going to go like this. From this point, I'm going to count 5 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold my pencil. Now where do I go? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is the new point X. Then it says, find the measurement of the distance between point X and the new X. Now, y'all want to know a little hint? Look right here. See these numbers they gave you when they said to go 5 right and 4 down? That's going to be the side links. That's going to be the legs. Yes? Because everybody look. If I go 5 to the right, isn't that my side length of 5? And if I go 4 down, isn't that my other side length of 4? Did I even really need to graph this, or did I know I was going to do 4 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared? Okay, and then I'm going to find the distance just like I did on the front. Check your answer with mine. If you put 6.40, that's the same thing. What do y'all think? Okay, the biggest mistake students make is when they're drawing their triangle, they go too far. Make sure when you're making your lines that you're not going past the next dot. Everybody understand? All right, I actually have a hard copy. I'll pass it out, and then you'll put your answers in the Google Classroom.